I'd say that's definitely on their side with their activity in a lot of these Tier 1 tournaments lately.
Now the question is, how is their lung capacity heading into this matchup? Vice just going to a peak or two around mid. Nothing really on offer. OG very defensive in their setup. Happy to let NiP make those first moves, but this has to change at some point.
Yeah, very slow from OG. Anticipating some aggression somewhere. Keeping an eye on that window room. Keeping an eye on Banana. Only the 2 sets of utilities, so options still open to them as to what kind of execute they want to be sending at this point. But as they group up towards Banana, you're keeping your eyes on S-Attack. Smoke at the ready for that choke point.
Rotation 2 readily available for NiP. It's only just now that utility is going to come out. S-Attack might just do some massive damage. If he can just sit in front of that smoke and pick away at OG. We're now going to stream onto this B-bomb site. Hampus is not going to be hampered too much, however. They're just going to stream right through that smoke there. Nico, he might be a real problem, and OG falling apart at the seams in this B-bomb site. They do remove the player inside the site, though, so NiP, they're just going to posture for that retake. Vice is so critically low.
Yeah. So is the timer, though, Jim. OG, they need to actually plant here, but it's all kind of falling apart. Aleksib caught with nade in hand. It's ludicrous that he's able to get away with that frag with only 5 seconds on the clock and no HP to defend the plant with. It's all over. NiP, they put that one together quite nicely, and they're going to take that first CT pistol.
All over Red Rover. And OG, they used up the timer way too much. And I'll be honest and say that these headshot lines, these angles that NiP were playing, just working to perfection. Plopsky, no. Let's just say Plopsky is good for 2. Say that one 3 times fast. I know Mac likes his Irish wristwatch.
Oh, God. Horrendous.
Plopsky might be up there.
Oh.
And Flames, he just runs straight into the mega grinder. This B dominance coming through from NiP, farming up. The lack of respect, though, you love to see it on that CT side.
Yeah, Chicken just springs straight towards Mantu and under us there. Gives away his position somewhat. And NiP not sustaining any losses in the anti-eco there. OG not investing too much in that second round, though, preferring the stability of the third round buy here. So we'll see if they can leverage his firepower advantage to a round win. But Inferno is that map where even a whole bunch of MP9s can really do some serious damage.
Early progression, though, from OG. It's going to be up through middle. Rice is going to get caught out, expending his entire clip, and Rez is not in a position to trade whatsoever. OG, they are just going to make mincemeat of these MP9s. They have control of A bomb site.
Yeah, that's a save. Every day of the week on Inferno. Lose those openers. CT's most likely just going to set up for exits. But in terms of how that opening first gun round has gone, OG going to be quite happy with that. Plopsky seeing perhaps if he can go swindle himself a better gun, and indeed he has. He's upgraded the MP9 for an A1S. Going to be happy with that.
Yeah, nobody watching the body of device, but as you said, setting up for those exits, at least in the case of S-Attack, he's looking for that upgrade. Famison M4 for Hampus and Plopsky. Certainly viable, but really nothing on offer anywhere across the map. OG did a good job of securing their first round. And do so in quite convincing fashion too, not taking any losses. That's important for them to be able to build into this half.
Yeah, for sure. Keep that money nice and stable and continue fighting. Even when the going gets a little bit tougher than getting basically a freebie on the timing through the smoke off the back of the reload. Sound cute. This is where it gets real though. Device has got the AWP out. Takes the spawn towards Arch side.
waiting out that early flash. Ooh, Tag's also tanking that Molotov atop banana. Unnecessarily, I would add too.
Yeah.
A real prospect for a duel, however. Aggression, OG. Slow but steady.
Yeah, they really want to fight for this banana control. Flash over the top. Avoided nicely by Hampers, but Aleksib's all over that. Nice little 2K. Explosive entries in towards banana. That busts the B site wide open. And we're on for another save, Jim. Thrilling stuff.
Absolutely. Tag, as I said, he just tanked that molly damage early on in the piece. He's nowhere to be seen. The two placing carpet. They're just big chilling. There's nothing on offer for them.
Just checking the vibes, dude. You know?
Just vibing.
Yeah. I mean,
Wonder what he's bumping.
That double entry really does things for me, Jim. I'll give you that, mate. I'm a OG Aleksib simp from the glory days of that End squad. So to see him cracking the side open or cracking banana open like that, oh
cracking
boy!
Skulls.
Even at this early hour, that really gets me going.
Careful. Don't want to raise the excitement rate too high. After that peak comes the crash. Now, speaking of crash, the economy of NiP hasn't quite hit the floor. They do have a buy in them. These 2 rounds where they've just saved mean that they're able to... Oh, that is crisp. Aleksib. 2 rounds they've saved. They've enabled them to buy into this quite strongly. But, again, just that 1 MP9 on Opsky. Opting to take him over towards B. His insurance policy. Was
Bloody hell. Double AWP. That was the secondary AWP. Just instantly lost there.
Double AWP, triple grenade. Who wins?
I don't know. 3 seems bigger than 2, so I'm going to go with the nades, Jim. For $2,000. There's the retake utility in from NiP. Very heavily leaned over towards this B side of the map. It's an A retake. Device just keeping an eye on bracket. But OG, they don't seem interested in running the map control protocols. I'm going to be heading towards this B side of the map. Taking some nade chip damage. But this could actually be a bit of a mistake, Jim.
They might just be playing right into the hands of NiP. Molotovs will land on that bomb site, so they're just going to stream through. Flames has no choice but to take that Molotov. Rez. Some bowling. And they, again, are just being delayed onto this bomb site. Streaming on in. Rez is happy to oblige. He has Plopsky playing on his arm. And that is working ever so nicely. Aleksib has to try and save what is left for this round. OG, he does have an opportunity to go back to A, though, so time to wipe the forehead.
Yeah. No reason for NiP to lean back off that B site with Device locking down bracket. And he's posted on the A cross toward dig side as well. 3B for Aleksib there. But that does give Device the cue. The T is over there. And Device posted on an angle like that. He don't miss. We've all seen it. Yep. It's a nice round. It's a nice gun round. But with only 2 guns up, it's going to take its toll on their economy now that they go back down to that 1,400 loss bonus. And OG have plenty of money built up. I got to say, MVP for that round, despite all the great anchoring work for Rez, really was Hampus cycling those nades. Drops the molly, goes back, picks up another molly, drops that. He's chipping in there with the HE nades through the smokes as well. That made all the difference.
Man's absolutely putting in a shift for them.
He's a juggler.
Always pays to have a juggler if you are part of a circus.
Well, we continue this clown fiesta of sorts. OG working some carpets control. They didn't keep their options open enough for themselves in that last round, so be good to see these lads diversify their map control. Smoke onto bracket side. They've taken banana quite nicely as well. And should be the pop flash onto the dig line to set man 2 up. So OG, I mean, up until they lose that peak, Device has read that beautifully. We're doing quite well for themselves.
All over that one. Vice, eyes on Boiler. And that means now NiP somewhat lock down this bomb site. However, OG just seem convinced for the moment to back off. They are going to send numbers back towards B. Maybe go for that double pump, try and keep those numbers on A, pull that extra player off. They show presence here at brackets. That will enable the players at B to just act on bomb site in the absence of that extra CT. There's nothing on offer. They're going to go back to A. So there's an opener.
Yeah.
This could get hairy for NiP. Rez is on the balcony. Has to dodge a few flashes. They're not going to check it, actually. And so if he buys his time here, he might be able to strike. However, he is instantly traded there by Valda. And that is going to be the bomb site controlled by OG. And the retake from NiP. Another situation, Pilski. Another save.
Another day, another save. Just gives more time for us to get to know each other, Jim. You know? What's your favourite colour, mate?
It's my favourite colour. I don't put it out there, just blue. Can't believe I answered that.
I can't believe it's just that a colour, you answering a colour could be kind of lame.
Think blue's a lame answer.
Yeah, it's alright. It's a calming colour.
CT for life.
Yeah, CT for life. That's NiP's mantra right now, although they're not loving the CT side, having to be in save simulator, retake simulator. They're going to take attack timeout. I have to say, I didn't mind how that round started for NiP. You know, you had Device opening things up on the boiler line, anticipating that bracket util set to come in, and that they wanted to, or OG rather, wanted to post up that AWPer from boiler towards dig side. That was read very well, and I have to say, the follow-up for that is even better. I saw NiP throwing that utility set towards Banana to retake that map control and limit the options for OG. But it kind of fell apart, because OG got quite tricky in the mid-round, didn't they?
It did. Proving difficult to deal with. And it felt as though there was maybe just that lack of decisiveness from OG. However, very good reads.
It's been like a bit of a chess match with the util so far between both of these squads. I'm loving it. Which is what you expect on Inferno, but even more so in the opening parts of this game. You've seen it. Different looks every single round. Oh, Plopsky. He's domed in Banana. Nico as well in getting that control of carpets, and no doubt OG going to speed things up towards A. It's only Rez here with the dig, Jim.
A lot of work to do for the only player on this A bomb site for now. This tag will come through, and I was about to say, both these two teams using their util very sparingly. A lot of teams do fall into the trap of just expending everything a Banana early on, but either NiP or OG falling into that trap as this tag now takes the aggro. However, they knew Rez was around. He'd made himself known. Oh, that's a shot from Mantu. He didn't even have the line. He's just deleted A bomb site defense, and now again Device is too far away from the action to have an impact, and another save will come through for NiP.
Yeah. And people wonder why individual maps of CS can go for an hour and a half. Because we just don't have the bloody fast forward button for rounds like this, or the end of these rounds. OG, you're going to chill in pit when you get that back to site plant. No need to go anywhere. And I think NiP, with how back and forth this game is going, they're going to have to take the single save around the AWP here. Whereas OG, they've had no economic woes at all this game. In fact, they've just been stringing these rounds together so convincingly. Cracking open with those entries on some of the key rounds that... I mean, again, it's another round where NiP find the opener, right? Like, they found the opening towards Boiler, one of those previous gun rounds. They found a double entry on towards Banana side, but they still dropped the round.
Remains one of the great mysteries of our time. At least until another one takes its place is... Oh, Mantu. eliminating his opposite number. We said he had a difficult matchup. However, look at this utility, just carpet bombing the top of Banana. And now, going to get away as a tag. He'll be able to take that AWP. It will survive another day. Been able to pick the pockets of OG. Valda just safeguarding top mid.
So looking good for OG. T-side's really been fabulous. The nade stacks have just been finding their marks time and time again towards Banana side. And S-Tag definitely wouldn't mind holding on to this AWP. I'm not sure if NiP are going to get the opportunity to replace it in the next gun round, given their loss bonus and the current money they sit on.
It's another day, another save simulator.
Yeah, you can see OG are setting up for the hunt though. Mantu's even delaying the plant.
They really want this. He's a prior scalp here device. That AWP device, should I say. S-Tag. They don't want NiP to have anything. They've had to save so many of these rounds, and at this stage to take nothing away from it would be a crying shame. S-Tag can't hold on to that AWP. Nico. Cirque du Soleil style.
I remember going to Cirque du Soleil when I was a small one. Very magical experience.
Lad. Now, much like Cirque du Soleil, NiP are needing to change up what they do regularly. Show must go on for them. Now, as we said, they had some early success, but how many rounds have they been locked out of and forced to save? It just felt as though they've saved maybe 4 out of the 7 rounds that they've played so far. Oh. And then in that match, or in that map, they tried to save there. They couldn't. Don't mind me. My tongue-tied. But I think it's safe to say that NiP have been put somewhat on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean,
Mantu's had some great impact.
Money's just gorgeous as well on the T side. So, the gift that keeps on giving here for OG. Like I said, after not saving that AWP, NiP won't have the funds to replace it, so they're back on the A1Ss. Smoke to half wall and towards jungle side here for OG in the early round, really looking to contest map control.
I like this from OG. They've taken quite a bit of map territory too. They're doing a great job of just masking that information NiP have. And the reason they're forced into so many of these save rounds too is because they can't react. Sorry, they can't anticipate. They can only react, and they just don't have enough time to be able to do so. The information masking from OG is on point.
NiP just retook Banana though. They've got a lot of information over here. Playing the high-low setup. So with that wrap smoke towards jungle side, and surely this utility starts to telegraph that this is a play towards the A side. Hampus flashed off the line, the coverage, the layering is beautiful, but it's not going to stop him from getting 2.
Hampus goes from painting a window to plastering 2, and now Rez has got some work to do as they stream up Diggity. Device will combine with Rez, and okay. They work their way in, OG. Bomb plant will come through, back to a 2 versus 2. S-Tag and Plopsky. With S-Tag yet to arrive on the scene, Plopsky might just try and work with the space he's been given. I don't think they're going to expect him so far just yet. That Molotov is going to clear out that side of the site. Valda just playing the off angle. They'll spot the shoulder out now, so they do have some information to work with. They're going to try and isolate that player in the site. They can't do it. And now, OG, finally we're seeing a retake from NiP, and it has been put into the dirt.
Yeah, nothing could stop OG on this T side right now, man. They're up 6-3. Their money is just so impeccable. I just don't think they're going to run out of funds for the rest of the half. It's just buy on buy on buy for these lads. And it feels like even though in a handful of these gun rounds, OG lose man advantage or they lose the initial exchange, they are just so good at winning these 3-on-3s, these 3-on-4s. Such explosive entries moving through the map. Oh, this is the cheese that everyone was talking about. When people heard that you could drop grenades, this is exactly what everyone envisioned.
Yeah.
Hampers sitting here and just cycling smokes on the B's bomb site choke while the rest of the team stacks 8.
He's the bean collector. Just pepper those grenades all day, baby. That's all he's going to do. He is just going to wind down the time. Okay, sits a little bit further back, but going to use some utility now. Very nearly a rogue AWP shot. But this is just a waiting game right now. 4-1 in B. Not going to work in Hampus' favour, however. They all just skip the molly. They will have control of this bomb site. Again, NiP. They're nowhere to be seen. They may be able to get themselves some exits if they can just keep OG in this bomb site. But this is a great round for the pacifists.
NiP starting to set the net up around OG. See if they can find some picks for themselves. I don't think the T's are too worried about this economic damage at this point. Their money is still pretty fantastic. It's really just about the ability that NiP wants to be going for. The damage, as well as just themselves an outside shot coming into the round, but with the timer already ticking down so low, is really just about taking 3 guns out of the hands of OG. But like I said, they're not going to be too troubled about that. They're happy that they take round number 10 there. And I think they've got more than enough cash for the rest of the half for themselves. NiP, they really need an answer sooner rather than later. They are no slouches on Inferno either. They've got plenty of reps on this map. The familiarity is there, but it feels like OG are just picking them apart right now.
They're just being pulled apart at the seams. And the very few rounds that they've opted to contest after losing control of the bomb site, they have not had any success in doing so. Really just feel as though once OG secure those entries, there's almost no chance for NiP in the round. So, fortunately for them, they have constantly been put on the back burner. And now, gun round coming out for them, which will hopefully change the tune. However, again, OG are one of those few teams that are actually making this T-side AWP work on Mantle. It's been, funnily enough, quite good at fashioning those opening picks. That's a nice grenade to the feet of Aleksib and Flames. And so again, this early utility, funnily enough, pushes NiP out of brackets control. Flames is so squishy now. He's just tanked everything that they've got over the feet.
Yeah.
And has to back off.
You see the NiP mixing up the timing at which they throw that retake util. But it's been time and time again very, very solid at denying info and denying control of Banana to the T's. Even when the CTs aren't actually stepping forward into that space. So now, Esatag happy to sit on his smoke. Not really pressured to invest that in there. OG now going back toward bracket side. You're seeing the lean back towards B. Hampus has got a special delivery, just dropping off all of his utility over towards B. But OG setting up for this A site hit. And it's just Rez and Device here to hold it down.
Hopefully they don't leave themselves short with this bomb site. And needing that utility. Oh, that's a nice entry here from Nico. And he will be able to open things up. As Device, he has to play shotgun AWP angle. Balder steps on him, and now NiP, it's familiar territory.
Oh my god. Just like my dad in a discount warehouse. Think of the savings every bloody round.
Nobody wins, though. Right now, NiP are just bargaining for more rounds.
Not really coming out ahead in the negotiations, though, are they?
No, I'd argue, too, that so many of these rounds, no doubt there's a mental block there, too, that NiP are experiencing there. Some of those early rounds, they were able to pick up the opening frags, and the amount of times now OG have just been able to entry into those bomb sites, overturn the player deficit is quite worrying for NiP.
Well, earlier this tournament, they didn't fend too well on Inferno against Vitality either. And they actually kicked that game off on their T side where they didn't string any rounds together almost. So that is also a worrying trend, considering that CT is not going fantastic for them right now.
Right.
It was actually NiP's pick against Vitality as well, which is interesting. Now it's getting picked against them.
I feel like Flames has just run into every possible wall of grenade in Banana. OG is doing great. Unfortunately, his scoreline has suffered somewhat. He's basically the one that's the sacrificial lamb for the success of the team. This round, you'll have to watch on from the sidelines. The survivability, certainly not there, but nothing ventured, nothing gained as OG is just going to take control of Banana once again. Just clearing out all these angles. NiP have contested this quite a few times. You can see now still, though, NiP aren't convinced. They're not sending that rotator over towards this B bomb site.
And look, I would be worried for OG, but actually, more often than not, they've turned around man disadvantage situations quite regularly so far. And it's all of the heavy hitters in terms of the fragging department still alive for them. That's an interesting smoke. Deep into barbecue? Surely they joined that up with the front of sight smoke, I'm assuming. Smoke to coffins. It's going to be blocked nicely by Plopsky. S-Attack dumps the molly in, trying to deny entry to the T's. 18 seconds on the clock. No more utility really for NiP to leverage. And as the smoke fades, Plopsky only going to get 1 for 1, but the back of the site is not clear. And with 8 seconds on the clock, they can't get rid of S-Attack.
Or can they? They might just get that bomb down in time. They should.
No way.
Just in the nick of time. That's a diehard with a vengeance. Style entries as a device. He picks that up. Huge flank from Banana. They had no idea where he was. And finally around for NiP. It felt as though they just went through, 7 attempted saves?
Yeah. And even that one got a little bit spicy in the 4-on-5. Like, I felt like they should have just locked that down. It was even a bit surprising to me that OG got the bomb down and were able to actually put themselves in a 2-on-2, to be honest. But NiP, see if they can scrape together a respectable half at the end of things here. A couple of smokes going roly-poly around in spawn as they juggle those over towards the B side of the map. Special delivery from some of the boys. Plopsky drops his smoke off for S-Attack, and he's going to head back into spawn to continue juggling over some more.
Rez now, having to readjust his line. Flames. Very little damage exchanged either way, as NiP have to break that stack, surrender control of apartments.
Yeah.
Vice, he's ready with those clippers, give people haircuts at the bottom of mid, but with this posturing for a bomb site hit. Rez is good, giving lots of cover here. The Hampus in the pit, that is a nice cleanup. And they can't even get out on the balcony. Mantu's completely flashed. He has no idea where he is. He wakes up as a different person with no memory of how anything happened. And Aleksib probably claiming the same. So he's left in this 1 versus 4. Vice is the line. That is it. Shut the gate. OG. They have lost 2 rounds in a row now. Yep. As you said, they're making that sprint to the half.
Yeah. Didn't start off well for them, but they're starting to recover some rounds and keep this game competitive. Give themselves some real legs to try to turn things around on the T side. As I said, though, every round is going to have to be fought for because OG have just built themselves up a bit of a dynasty. So much wealth spread out amongst the boys from earlier on in that half. But it's starting to be chipped down. Not sure they're going to run out, considering we're in round number 14, though. NiP, oh, Vice almost loses his life to the spam through there. It seemed like they wanted to go again for that boost up in Boiler they were utilizing in that last round. Well, not to be the case.
Del Hampus wanted to go. He was itching for it. But OG is posting up. Lopsky pays the ultimate price. Just trying to throw a Molotov into Banana. And already too, Flames has taken so much damage. As I said, he's having a rough half. Hasn't had a lot of success in Banana. Double stack too. It's going to be tough for Man2 to break.
Two-man CT crossfire. It's the high-low yet again, Jim. And they're just spraying down all of the Ts before they can find any space in towards Banana. Valdi could be the hero of this round for OG, though, if he finds the right timing. Campus gonna pop flash top mid. Valdi knows he's kind of slit the net a little bit here. But hard to catch Rez off guard at the best of times.
Better postured maybe to try and catch Hampus off guard over at Mini Pit, but timing. Molotov out. Catch Valdi and Rez chimes in nicely. So another round going the way of NiP. They're starting to resurge. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And finally, they're not having to save. They're not losing bomb sites early on and giving themselves little to no chance. So everything being spent here, Pilski, both of these two teams wanting to take what they can from this first half. It's been a lot of one-way traffic, at least in the midterm, for OG.
Yeah.
NiP, they're mustering what they can.
I feel like they're being a bit more proactive, Jim. You know, you've seen them taking Banana, seen the two-man setups in towards Boiler. Oh, Device, he's been looking for that shot all half long, and he's going to get it this time.
Ooh. He also gets what he's normally got at the top mid, and that is taking some serious damage. Okay, Campus now is also just going to probe through that smoke, so the brackets control from OG is surrendered. Once again, they are funneled into Banana. And NiP, that double coffin setup, just waiting out some of this utility to execute on the site.
OG, just going to go for the same approach that's worked every time. Group up, hit the small site in the man disadvantage situation. In onto the line here. It's a double retake setup here for NiP. Happy to just play the numbers, see if they can find any picks before OG get into the site. It's ludicrous that Valdi is able to find that pick, shouldering like that. And Plopsky knows he's got a little gap to play with. Trying to utilize to find himself a pick, but he's instead going to use the sound cue of the bomb plant.
Just jiggling their way through. Tell me what that team model do. And smoke will come in. That'll just make things more difficult for NiP. It might actually allow them to progress through as the flash does come on in. Here we go. They're making it work. It's now just Nico and Valdi to try and salvage things here for OG. As Valdi, a lot of work to do, but he's not invited to the barbecue. And NiP will be able to find that defuse. It's been a struggle street for them in this first half. However, come away with that 8-7 scoreline, pulling themselves into this second half. We'll be back after the break. Don't go anywhere.
I think we have pretty good team synergy actually, and obviously it's true that you know, if he hasn't tried some, I don't know what it might be, but like small things at tournaments, obviously he can ask like pretty much every single one of us, because we're pretty experienced, like me and Alexia and Nico at least. we've been to tons of tournaments by now, so we can always try and and teach him a little bit and guide him along the way if there's something he doesn't know. So I think he's learning, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see like him playing his A game at this tournament as well.
Nana control as a launching pad to kick off this B-side execute, as you've seen many teams do. Going to pick up the pace. Flames hiding in towards the pillar. Mantu thins the numbers through the smoke, but they clean Flames out. He's had a bit of a toughie this game, and he's not even going to clean up that frag onto S-Attack. But the quick flank is making all the difference for Valdi, Jim.
Uh-oh. This is making things difficult. S-Attack is certainly in a pickle. Now Plopsky. Oh,
what?
Here we go. He's made that into a round now for NiP as Nico. He's going to arrive on the site here. The room is on fire, and he is carrying all of those pizzas. However, he very nearly puts that round back in favor of OG. Dear me.
Oh boy. It's just raw mechanics. Both ends of the spectrum, isn't it? You get that 90-degree flick as well as the pixel adjustment. Now OG, a mag 7 out for Valdi. That's an interesting one. He's taking it over to jungle side.
Time to make that bank. Vice is the same thoughts running through his mind. Is that max 10? Okay. Flames is going to catch a nice grenade too. He's just going to stream on through. Makes Device respect him. However, they've got control of B, so that max 7 of Valdi actually might work because he plays around this smoke.
Dirty angle. He's going to be rewarded for it as well. Campus has really been hard done by there. Plopsky's got spam through the smoke though, so Nico going to turn tail and run. He's got armor to save. He's still got a Mac 10. Can drop over the deagle to one of the teammates and a bit of util to come with in towards the next round. So he's going to post himself up for an exit, but mostly looking towards that save in the next round where he can bring some weaponry to do some more damage. And Valdi with that kill as well gets an extra grand in the bank account.
Ooh. Nico's put to bed early. Now NiP start to surge ahead. They really haven't had a lead like this since the early stages of the match. Remember, they got themselves off to a decent start, but it's been one-way traffic for OG.
Well, just the anti-eco here for NiP. And I have to say, considering the circumstances in which this game started, they are well and truly rolling here on Inferno, dude.
Absolutely. Donkey Roller's up mid. That Mat 10. Device is just... He's in 60 spawn already now, so... It becomes a question of whether or not he's going to catch some timing on Flames. He does. Does spot the second too now, so... He's a man on the mission. Where on earth is Carmen San Diego? He's going to stop that rotation off the B-bomb site. That's going to allow NiP plenty of time on this A-bomb site. They've scared off the apartments player, and now OG do not want to give any frags away to this Mac 10.
Do not want. Going to run into Rez's open arms, but at least that gives less money over towards the T side. Tobias still wants his, though. Orps ain't cheap, so he can get some more dollars for the bank account. He'll be happy with that.
So I'm just starting to be picked apart. Not a lot that can be done, though, from their position, I'll be honest, OG. Just about survivability. Manto and Device, they just did this awkward little dance-off. No step coming out from OG. No reason to. So they're going to take that into the next round. It's just that P250 to save, to be honest. But we are going to see the M4 coming out for Valda. And that is going to signal the buy for OG. So time to knuckle down and keep this defense watertight, making sure they've got no leaks. NiP, though, with that run of play, they're going to retain that Mac 10 on S attack. So for them to put him in the powerful positions may only pose a real threat to Aleksib, but these early protocols being run, these defaults.
Yeah, OG spending a little bit extra to get those head armors against the Khalils and the Mac 10s. Double Molly pushes Mantu off that line, so he can't find an opener towards Banana side, but that's where he saw the counter Molly in from Flames. Might see some potential re-aggression here. Do get the long journey back to spawn to pick up just one extra grenade. Sometimes that can be a difference maker. As NiP have taken carpets back. They're setting up for a play towards this A site, but they're smoked off at top mid and carpet side, so they'll be held back momentarily.
Gonna break that stack before the occurrence comes. Valda, he's just gonna let it rip, Beyblade style, through the brackets. He smoked away, and so all of NiP staged here with the bomb. So he re-aggresses through the smoke. That's bold. And now Aleksib has that A on lock. He's looking good. Leaving it now down to S-Tag, who gets absolutely slapped.
One clip on the A1S. Aleksib has been sharp tonight, no doubt about it. You wouldn't see this with the old A1S, dude. 25 bullets in a clip. Good for a 4K,
bullets,
mate.
He'd be out of bullets and have lost recoil control after the third. Now, early aggression towards B. Just allows to reset somewhat. So, just trying to do some damage early on here. Again, battle for B just rages on.
Yeah, as is the case on this map, as is customary. Aleksib getting ready to set up that retake util. No smoke to half wall, though, does give vision to NiP, who are going to continue to fight for this. So it's interesting to see the Molotovs invested like that. But now I see the pieces coming together in the plan. The HE nade, both of them get substantial damage done.
Chance for some chunky damage with that M4 spray. Does not eventuate, and that is going to signal NiP. They are just going to go galloping up mid. They do have bracket control already. That's been surrendered by OG. However, NiP grouping up nicely. They've already got S-Tag. He's got control. This site already. He's got control of apartments. So they're going to try and take plunge here onto Valda. On that line. Here we go. M4 only good for the second. As Rez, drops that smoke. And that allows them to just get onto the wrap. Get on with it. They've got to take on Mantu. 15 seconds left here, though. They will be able to get onto that bomb site if they can remove Nico. And they do. So Aleksib does find Rez through the smoke just to make things interesting. He finds another. What is going on?
He's on fire right now. You love to see it. Progression smoke. for OG to find a little more space to try to get back into the side, but Hampus is going to use it for his own purposes. Doesn't matter. Flames hits him with the drive-by. And OG, if that was NiP right there, you'd probably see them save, but Aleksib makes all the difference. Just spamming away straight through the smoke.
Just tapping away. Made it incredibly difficult. He's out the second frag through the smoke.
He's having such a crazy game right now.
Popping off. Going off like a bag of prawns in the sun, as you would say here in the land down under.
Can just smell it. Money situation. Not where you'd want it to be if you are NiP, so I'm anticipating potentially a half buy. Indeed, that's what we'll be given. Gonna get some more words for threat. Impart some more wisdom on the boys, but seems like it's mostly Hampus who's doing the talking.
Thinking caps on, though. What do? You get into the right positions, you get the bomb plant down, then you get spammed twice through the smoke. What's the counter to that? You can't counter brilliance. However, NiP need to be getting into these bomb sites, trying to take less damage.
Progression smoke has brought NiP the space in towards banana side here. But the layering of the utility for OG to just push the T's around and make them uncomfortable has been pretty nice. Not too much chip damage this time around, but still with 3 players leaning over towards the B side of the map and Valdi not having been pushed off of bracket. This has kind of been telegraphed to some extent. Still a Molotov here for Aleksib. Still a nade ready for Flames.
Okay. Here we go. Let's just see if this can be worked out. Flames, though, he's the sole survivor. Aleksib perishes in the Flames device, though. Nice entry onto the site. Boost will come through. That may disrupt the bomb plant. At the very least, make it a 1 versus 3 for Esatag. He's got that M4, and he will not find Valda through that smoke. In fact, twice they strike above the smoke. OG successful in that retake. Good round from NiP. They got the objective, they got that bomb plant, and they massaged their coffers.
OG, no loss bonus to sit back on, so look, a couple of guns taken away from them is not going to be too fantastic. Flames, surprisingly, a little bit quiet in the server here, because it's worth mentioning that last time these two teams went head-to-head, or the cause of these two teams went head-to-head, he was plus 24 across a best-of-3 series and got 70-ish frags, 70, 75. So to see him have a bit of a slower day at the office is surprising. Got a fair few assists, though. And look, if he can start stepping up like he did on that round in towards the B site, it'll be sorely needed for OG to close this game out.
All right. Let's see what this round will hold. So, early presence from NiP towards apartments. And Rez just making sure that the rotation not come down banana. Mansu, he's in a spot of bother. And that Molotov just means that they cannot wrap on jungle side. Valda shoots for 3. NiP just pumps the brakes a little bit. They've got time to work with. This is where Rez starts to activate. Does he start to try and push here? Will he go for that late lurk? The smoke towards the B arch. That has OG with the thinking caps on. Valda, though! Oh, he strikes at the right time. And he's going to press on for more. So, needs to be careful, though. Thankfully, that Molotov means they will not re-aggress him. Has he done enough? NiP now. They've revealed their hand. Nico is working that to perfection. NiP, another day, another save. This time on the T side.
Valdi has been a pleasure to watch, rifling on the jungle side. Obviously, we see that AWP taken over to Dig's side nowadays. But in the mid-round, it's just been gorgeous to watch Valdi playing these off angles, being unafraid to fight jungle side, re-aggressing. It obviously is a big boon to the info. If you can clear out bracket and you don't see a soul, it's really, really going to help you in terms of informing your decision-making about your rotations on the CT side of Inferno here. That's a big round for OG. Up 12-10 now. They stabilize the economy and put themselves within touching distance of closing this game out. NiP have something to say about it, though. They're going to force up in here. Mac 10 at his Eagle. Invested in as they try to creep towards this bracket side. Nico caught out in the open. Flash from Hampus is good.
Uh-oh. Valdi might be caught out here. And he is. So that makes things incredibly difficult now for Mantu. Cannot provide the resistance that is needed as Flames now. Let's find that extremity underneath. I feel like the role's reversed here. Flames is actually going to try and save in the apartment, or the deep second mid apartment. So, okay, forget that. Never mind.
Yeah, Hampus is just zoomed up into apps.
What happened there? You got a feel for him. He's being deleted.
Just Aleksib in towards the ruins, which is kind of how you could describe this round for OG as well. And Hampus is actually going to pick up the T-side ult for Device. So this might sort of inhibit NiP from playing the same kind of round that you just saw from them, which was just a little bit more free flow, creeping up toward bracket side. The contact plays, just trying to catch some of these CTs off guard. OG have had so much success just contesting bracket in the mid-round. That was a beautiful shot. But that time disrupted. However, picking up the AWP, I think, is going to add a little bit more rigidity to this T side.
Okay, Device. Ooh, Aleksib playing with fire. Flames, though, it's going to take territory. These AWPs are doing all the talking so far.
Yeah.
Both NiP and OG.
Yeah, two of the more standout riflers on the server taken out of the equation early on. And NiP, again, not respecting brackets. It's going to pick up the pace over there. Mantu caught off on the off angle. That's the third time in 2 rounds we've seen an A player for OG caught with their pants down. Device has got the flank blocked down. It's just Nico in pit. He's trying to play the headshot line. He's trying to buy time for Valdi to get something done from library. But he's grey screen. That's going to be NiP picking up 2 on the trot and breaking the economy of OG.
Fortunately for Valdi. Looking more like pulled pork right now. He's been completely smoked out. So NiP are going to level those scores, and finally they find a breakthrough in stringing some rounds together. But you're right. How many times have OG just been caught in no man's land towards jungle, towards that archway side? It's not the kind of area you want to be caught in. You've got no exit strategy. You quite literally have to deploy into turret mode. And it's not necessarily going to work in the favor of an AWP where the spacing between the Ts is just so tightly bound. This is what I'm liking from NiP. You're just choosing to take the fights, and the ones that work in their favor, mind you, that's the fights they're choosing to take, and that's boding well for them. Tactical timeout coming for OG here. So they need to work out how they're going to stabilize their half.
Yeah, getting some words in there from Rugger. Got a lot to say right now. It's a sticky situation now for OG. This is kind of the point in the game where you didn't want to see a resurgence from NiP. Multiple gun rounds picked up. This is where their economy starts to build and they get a lot harder to beat at the tail end of this game. So OG, even after that single save, it's not going to be that pretty of a buy that they put together. Valdi on the hero rifle, I can't think of a better candidate right now for OG, to be fair.
Only him, and he's in 4. Oh, and he's just been double teamed. In those apartments, that map, that side of the map controlled well and truly. That's a double stack on the boost. That's something you see every day, but it's not going to be encountered here. Rez is good for 2. Going full eco Cobra. Keeping it nice and clean for NiP. A round that they needed for confidence. And also, that money is just stacking high.
This is a very favourable position for NiP to close this game out. They've got stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. And after that, they've got the loss bonus behind them, even if it gets to that point. Whereas OG, their money is still very fragile. They don't have any kits to take into this round. They've only got the 1 Molotov on Flames. So, not really a convincing amount of utility. Which is going to probably pigeonhole OG into playing a little bit more aggressive and taking more aim duels than you would usually see. NiP, they're really not respecting bracket. These last couple of rounds, it feels like they are very much putting an emphasis on abusing this part of the map. And in the meanwhile, Device has been given the responsibility of minding Banana. How many times are we going to see OG players caught with their pants down on the A site? NiP have gotten away with it again. And now we get to talk about whatever we want, Jim.
Absolutely.
You wanna read me your Year 12 essay, mate?
I don't know, Pilski. I had a term I was going to throw around, and it's that bracket control you speak of. It's being given away so easily by OG, and then that's just allowing them to siphon in through jungle. It's organized crime, Pilski. It's bracketeering.
Oh, God.
Okay. They don't need to press this hard, but they're going to. Flames falls. And he's not going to retain anything. Aleksib going to be in the ruins of a church. Praying to hold on. He does. Oh dear, Rez. They very nearly came face to face. That could have been disastrous for OG. He's going to be that hero position. Has failed it again. Just picks up that mag 7. They're going to have to be playing for OT. Hero OG. That's not the position you want to be on your map pick.
Aldi loves this mag 7 on Arch side. And in general, he just loves taking duels on that exact angle with a rifle as well. Seems to really be his forte. NiP staring down the ability to put themselves on map point here on Inferno. Great resurgence on this T side. Don't count OG out though. Did half buys on Inferno, do damage for the longest time, and they've got the utility to be able to make the T side's life a little bit annoying. But with the first smoke going down at 120, I don't think that OG are going to have that lockout potential.
Well, stranger things have happened. However, once again, NiP showing presence towards brackets. They're not going to force the issue, though, this time. They're playing around that smoke. Double stack on the other side of that arch. He's going to try and peer over Aleksib over the smoke. Perfect as it clears. Right into the dirt. Again, they lose that jewel, though, so they are just going to onside on the back of that information. Plopsky critically injured. So, okay, this could be a round that goes to favor of OG. They've got superior numbers and HP.
Yeah, they got a couple of smokes to work with as well. Can cut Rez out of the equation by smoking off Banana, and that would definitely be a recipe for success. As they come in through market side, or through main side rather, Plopsky on the angle. He's only got 3 HP to work with, but he's hitting nothing but heads. Rez dives through the smoke. He's going to double up as well. You thought that OG, that was the lifeline that they needed, but they couldn't quite convert it. And that's map point for NiP.
You thought they were done and dusted. 4 versus 2. It was looking ominous. That smoke and Banana was a split-second decision there from Rez. He had to stand in front of it. He had no choice. Teammate was on 3 HP. And that's been a fantastic performance. To be able to get 2 on 3 HP, that in itself is round-winning stuff. So, Mantu not keen on taking that duel directly with Device, who was just waiting so patiently at the bottom of mid. Now, again, great deal of emphasis on Banana from both of these two teams, just burning out that damage utility quite early on in the piece. However, OG, they're trying to play for survival here. Esatag, though, that's some space that they can work with over in this A-bomb site. And look at them stream on in.
Yeah. They've had a lot of success over this part of the map. Esatag going to throw a progression smoke out onto balcony. Allow him to potentially creep out and find a pick as the rest of NiP heading over in this direction as well. Aleksib wants to stop them coming through jungle side, and he's able to spray straight through the flash and take the entry out of the equation. The rest of NiP trying to force it up dig side, but it's one-dimensional and it's being shut down.
Mantu arriving on the scene of the crime. Aleksib is also there to chime in. So OG, they have not taken their last breath just yet. And Device, it's like punching a brick wall.
A good little shutdown from OG. Shuffling back into position. And another pretty impactful round from Aleksib. He's had quite a few of them in this game so far. But it's going to need 2 more just for OT here for OG. And NiP have just got buys on buys.
Default protocols being run once again. And in apartments control being exerted by Esatag, so OG seem to be very happy not to contest brackets. Valda's done a good job actually of in these last few rounds just maintaining control of Archway. That was a real thorn in the side for OG. However, they're going to try and test him. Someone comes through now. Valda exchanges shots. Lucky to escape without actually taking any damage as Plopsky now feeling the pinch. Progression on towards A. Now, they might be able to find the timing here onto Valda.
In the meanwhile, though, you're looking at Flames. He's got full info on Banana. This has allowed OG to lean over towards this A side of the map, but with Aleksib trying to force his way through a Molotov and Plopsky getting the entry on side, it's kind of falling apart. Valdi trying to do his best to help from jungle side, and he's done pretty well.
Oh, Device at the right moment. Could he send NiP with a map win on their opponent's map pick into the next map in this series? Flames has got a lot of work to do. He's had a quiet series so far. However, hopes and dreams of OG on their map pick are in his responsibility. That is not going to be the case. Device chimes in quite nicely at the end to propel NiP with a map advantage in this series. We'll be back after the break to take a look at how that map progressed.